I'm Robyn Fox, and this is RF Reports. Did you hear about this woman who thought she found her soulmate, only to discover he was systematically erasing her entire identity? This story is absolutely wild, and it's happening to more people than you think. So this all starts with Maya. She's 24, works as a marketing coordinator at a mid-sized digital agency downtown, finally feeling confident in who she is after a pretty messy breakup the year before. That previous relationship had been a real wake-up call. Her ex had been emotionally unavailable, always making her feel like she was asking for too much when she wanted basic things like spending time together or having him remember important dates. But Maya had done the work. 6 months of therapy, reconnecting with friends she'd neglected, rediscovering hobbies she'd abandoned. She'd gotten her own one-bedroom apartment in a cute neighborhood with exposed brick walls and big windows that filled the space with natural light. She'd decorated it exactly how she wanted. Vintage furniture from estate sales, plants everywhere, bookshelves crammed with novels and self-help books and poetry collections. She had a solid group of friends, especially her best friend Alex, who'd known her since college and wasn't afraid to call her out when she was making questionable choices. Maya was actually enjoying being single for the first time in years. She'd go to farmers markets on Saturday mornings, try new restaurants by herself, take pottery classes on Tuesday evenings. You know that feeling when you finally get comfortable with yourself? When you stop feeling like you need someone else to complete you? That's exactly where Maya was. But then Alex starts pestering her about getting back out there. "You've been single for 8 months," Alex would say during their weekly coffee dates. "I'm not saying you need to find your husband tomorrow, but maybe just see what's out there. Download an app for 20 minutes. What's the worst that could happen?" Famous last words, right? So Maya downloads this dating app one Thursday night after a particularly long day at work. She's in her pajamas, face mask on, telling herself she'll just swipe for a few minutes before bed. Most of the profiles are exactly what you'd expect. Gym selfies, group photos where you can't tell which guy is the one you're looking at, bios that say, "Ask me anything," or "Just looking for someone genuine." But then she comes across Jordan's profile, and something about it immediately catches her attention. 26 years old, works in software development, but his photos aren't the typical tech bro nonsense. There's one of him hiking with this genuine smile, another reading a book in a coffee shop, one where he's volunteering at what looks like a food bank. His bio mentions loving obscure indie bands, weekend farmers market visits, and this quote about how vulnerability is the birthplace of connection. Maya finds herself actually reading his entire profile twice, which never happens. Usually, she's making split-second decisions based on photos alone, but something about Jordan feels different. More thoughtful, more real. They match. And within minutes, Jordan sends her a message that's not the usual, "Hey," or "What's up?" Instead, he references something specific from her profile, a photo of her at a bookstore where she's holding a novel by an author he also loves. They start texting, and the conversation flows like water. Jordan remembers details from their messages in a way that feels almost too good to be true. When Maya mentions she's having a stressful week at work, he follows up the next day asking how her big presentation went. When she casually mentions loving sunflowers in passing, he actually remembers it. They stay up until 2 a.m. just talking about everything: their families, their career goals, their travel dreams, books they've read, movies that made them cry. Their first date is at this cozy wine bar downtown that Jordan suggests because he remembers Maya mentioning she prefers intimate settings over loud, crowded places. He shows up 15 minutes early, which Maya discovers when she arrives exactly on time and finds him already there, looking slightly nervous and incredibly handsome in a button-down shirt that brings out his eyes. But here's the detail that melts Maya's heart completely. Jordan brought her a single sunflower. Not a whole bouquet that screams trying too hard. Just one perfect flower because he remembered that throwaway comment from their texting. "I can't believe you remembered that," Maya says, genuinely touched by the gesture. "Of course I remembered," Jordan replies with this devastating smile that makes her stomach flutter. Everything you say matters to me. When was the last time someone made Maya feel like her words actually mattered? Like she was worth paying attention to? The date goes absolutely perfectly. Jordan asks thoughtful questions about her life and actually listens to the answers. He shares stories about his own family, his college years, his career transition into software development. He's funny without being crude, confident without being arrogant, attentive without being overwhelming. When they discover they both love the same obscure documentary series, they spend 20 minutes excitedly discussing episodes and theories. Jordan walks her to her car afterward and waits until she's safely inside before leaving. The whole interaction feels like something out of a romantic movie, not cheesy or over the top, just genuinely sweet and considerate. I had an incredible time tonight, Jordan texts within minutes of Maya getting home. When can I see you again? I'm already looking forward to continuing our conversation. Maya finds herself grinning at her phone like a teenager. Finally, someone who's excited about building something real instead of playing games or keeping things casual. Now here's where things start moving faster than a Formula One race. But it feels so romantic that Maya doesn't notice the speed at first. Their second date happens 3 days later, and that's when Jordan drops this bomb that should have been a massive red flag. I know this might sound crazy, but I've never felt this connected to someone so quickly. There's something really special happening between us. Most people would pump the brakes here, maybe think slow down there, buddy, but Maya's floating on cloud 9. Jordan continues, I actually deleted my dating apps today. I only want to focus on getting to know you. I don't want any distractions from what we're building. Maya's heart practically stops. Finally, someone who's serious about commitment instead of keeping their options open indefinitely. Someone who recognizes something special when they find it. By week 3, Jordan's talking about their future together like it's already decided. Where they might want to live someday, maybe a house with a big kitchen where they can cook together, a yard where they could have a garden. What their kids might look like, Maya's eyes with Jordan's dark hair maybe. How he's never believed in soulmates until now, but meeting Maya has changed everything. They start saying, I love you, and Maya feels like she's living in the romantic comedy she's dreamed about since she was 15 years old. Jordan tells her things like, you're everything I've been searching for, and I want to build a life with you. And I've never felt this way about anyone. Every conversation feels meaningful. Every gesture feels intentional. When Jordan surprises her with her favorite coffee order at work, when he sends her good morning texts that are more like little love poems, when he plans elaborate dates that feel perfectly tailored to her interests, Maya feels cherished in a way she's never experienced. But what Maya doesn't realize is that this isn't normal relationship progression. This is love bombing, an intense period of overwhelming affection designed to make her emotionally dependent as quickly as possible. Jordan's showering her with gifts, constant attention, and declarations of love not because the feelings are genuine, but because they're strategic. Think about the healthy relationships you've seen. Partners take time to get to know each other. They're interested and attentive, sure, but they don't profess undying love after 2 weeks or start planning their shared future after 3. There's a natural progression where feelings deepen gradually as people actually get to know each other's flaws and complexities. But Maya's so caught up in feeling chosen and special and finally understood that she misses every warning sign. Jordan's intensity feels like passion. His constant attention feels like devotion. His rapid commitment feels like maturity. Then, about a month in, the subtle changes begin. And they're so gradual that Maya doesn't notice the shift at first. Jordan starts making these tiny comments about Maya's friends that stick in her mind like splinters. Nothing dramatic or obviously controlling, just little observations that plant seeds of doubt. Your friend Alex seems pretty negative. Jordan mentions casually after Maya hangs up from a phone call where she'd been venting about a frustrating day at work. I just worry about people who always focus on problems instead of solutions. You're such a positive person. I'd hate to see that energy get drained by someone who's always complaining. When Maya gets invited to her monthly girls' night, something she's done religiously, with the same group of friends for over 2 years. Jordan's face falls slightly. He doesn't say she can't go because that would be too obvious. Instead, he makes it about them. I was really hoping we could have a quiet evening together, he says, looking genuinely disappointed. I barely got to see you this week because of work meetings and family stuff. I've been looking forward to just us time all week. But if your friends are more important— Jordan doesn't finish the sentence, but the guilt trip lands perfectly. Maya finds herself canceling plans she's had for months because she doesn't want to disappoint this person who loves her so deeply. Maybe next time, she tells Alex apologetically. Jordan's been working really hard lately and I want to be supportive. You understand, right? Alex's response is careful but concerned. Of course I understand wanting to spend time with your boyfriend. Just make sure you're not disappearing on us completely, okay? We miss you. But Jordan's influence doesn't stop at her friendships. He starts having opinions about everything in Maya's life, and he frames every criticism as love and concern for her well-being. You know, babe, you'd look absolutely incredible if you dressed a little more sophisticated, Jordan says while scrolling through fashion websites on Maya's laptop. They're lying in bed on a Sunday morning, and what starts as casual browsing turns into a full consultation session. Let me help you pick out some new pieces. I have a really good eye for what would flatter your figure. Maya looks down at her favorite vintage t-shirt and worn jeans, clothes that have always made her feel comfortable and authentically herself. But suddenly she's seeing them through Jordan's eyes, and they seem childish and sloppy. The vintage band t-shirts she'd collected over years of concert going, the thrift store finds that felt like treasures, the casual dresses that made her feel effortlessly pretty, all of it suddenly feels inadequate. I never really thought about my style being unsophisticated, Maya says, feeling defensive but trying not to show it. It's not unsophisticated, Jordan backtracks quickly. It's just very young. And you're such an amazing, accomplished woman. Your exterior should reflect your inner sophistication. I just want people to see you the way I see you. Someone truly special. Jordan convinces her to start. Waking up at 6 a.m. for sunrise workouts because successful people are early risers and you have so much untapped potential. Never mind that Maya's naturally a night owl who's been happily working. Evening shifts at her marketing job for 2 years. Never mind that she actually loves her current schedule, which lets her sleep in until 8 a.m. and work until 7 p.m., perfectly matching her natural energy patterns. I just see how amazing you could be with a little more structure and discipline, Jordan explains while setting multiple alarms on her phone. I want to help you become the best version of yourself. You're already incredible, but imagine what you could accomplish with better habits. The early morning workouts are torture. Maya drags herself out of bed exhausted, stumbles through 30 minutes of exercises she hates, then feels off balance for the rest of the day. But Jordan seems so proud of her dedication to self-improvement that she keeps doing it. He criticizes her apartment, calling it chaotic and saying it reflects a scattered mindset. Maya had always loved her cozy, eclectic space, the mismatched furniture with character, the plants overflowing from every windowsill, the books stacked in creative piles, the art from local artists covering the walls. It felt like home. It felt like her. I can help you redecorate, Jordan offers, surveying her living room with what looks like genuine concern. Create a more peaceful, organized environment. Successful people need calm spaces to think clearly. But Jordan's version of helping means throwing out everything that feels like Maya and replacing it with his vision of who she should be. The colorful throw pillows get replaced with neutral beige ones. The quirky art pieces disappear in favor of generic landscapes. The overflowing bookshelves get organized into sterile arrangements that prioritize appearance over accessibility. The worst part? Jordan frames every criticism as love and support. I wouldn't push you if I didn't care so much about your success and happiness, he says whenever Maya hesitates about another change. I see your potential, and I want to help you reach it. But here's what Maya doesn't understand yet. Someone who truly loves you doesn't immediately set out to change fundamental things about who you are. Real love sees your potential without demanding you become a different person to deserve affection. Healthy partners might encourage growth, but they don't require complete personality renovations. By month 3, Jordan wants to know where Maya is every single moment. The texts start innocently enough. "Good morning, beautiful. What's your plan for today?" But they quickly escalate to constant check-ins that feel more like surveillance than caring. "What are you doing? Who are you with? Send me a photo so I can see what you're up to." If Maya doesn't respond within 15 minutes, her phone explodes with increasingly worried and then angry messages. "Are you okay? Why aren't you answering? I'm starting to panic that something happened to you." The irony is that Jordan frames this constant monitoring as deep love and concern. "I just worry about you," he explains when Maya finally calls him back after a 30-minute delay. "I love you so much that the thought of something happening to you drives me crazy. Is it wrong to want to know that the most important person in my life is safe?" When Maya points out that she was just in a meeting and couldn't check her phone, Jordan looks hurt. "I understand work is important, but what if there had been an emergency? What if I needed to reach you? I thought we agreed that we're each other's priority." Jordan begins showing up at Maya's workplace unannounced with coffee and lunch, claiming he was in the neighborhood. But Maya's office is 20 minutes out of the way from anywhere Jordan actually needs to be. These aren't spontaneous romantic gestures, they're territorial displays. He'll stay to chat with her coworkers, asking questions about office dynamics and Maya's relationships with her colleagues. "Your boyfriend is so thoughtful," Maya's colleague Sarah comments after one of these visits. "Mine never brings me surprise lunches." But Maya's starting to feel suffocated rather than loved. She can't run a quick errand after work without providing a detailed explanation of where she's going, who she'll be with, and when she'll be back. She can't grab coffee with a friend without Jordan, wanting to know why she needs social interaction when they have each other. "Don't you think it's a little weird that you want to spend time with other people when we're building something this special?" Jordan asks when Maya mentions plans with coworkers. "I just want to understand why I'm not enough for you." Jordan starts checking Maya's phone when she's in the shower or bathroom. At first it's subtle, just glancing at notifications when her phone buzzes on the counter. But gradually it becomes more invasive. When Maya confronts him about going through her messages, Jordan flips the entire script. "Why are you being so secretive?" he demands, looking genuinely hurt and confused. "If you have nothing to hide, why does it matter? I thought we trusted each other completely." The accusation stings because Maya has been completely faithful and honest. She hasn't been hiding anything because there's nothing to hide. But Jordan's wounded expression makes her feel guilty for even bringing it up. "I just think everyone deserves some privacy," Maya says weakly. "Privacy from your partner?" Jordan responds, "That's not how healthy relationships work. Couples who are truly committed share everything. My parents have never hidden anything from each other in 30 years of marriage, and wants access to all her social media accounts because couples who are truly committed don't have separate digital lives." When Maya hesitates, she's accused of hiding something, of not being fully invested in their relationship. "I've given you my whole heart," Jordan says with wounded eyes. "I've shared my passwords, my thoughts, my dreams, everything. But apparently you're not ready for that level of intimacy. This isn't love. This is control." But Maya can't see it because Jordan has convinced her that this level of involvement is what real commitment looks like. Her previous relationships had been so surface level, so emotionally distant, that Jordan's intensity feels like finally finding someone who truly cares. Then the gaslighting starts, and this is where things become truly dangerous. Jordan begins contradicting things Maya knows to be true about her own experiences and feelings. It starts small, with minor disagreements about conversations they've had or plans they've made. When Maya says, "Remember when you said you didn't like my friend Alex?" Jordan responds with perfect sincerity, "I never said that. You're being overly sensitive. I just think you deserve friends who build you up instead of bringing you down. Alex always seems to focus on negative things instead of celebrating your successes." When Maya brings up hurtful things Jordan has said during arguments, he claims she's remembering it wrong or taking it completely out of context. He calls her dramatic or too emotional whenever she tries to address problems in their relationship. You always blow things out of proportion, becomes Jordan's standard response to any concern Maya raises. I never said it like that. You're putting words in my mouth. Jordan starts rewriting the history of their entire relationship. Suddenly, Maya was the one who pushed for early commitment. She was the one who didn't want Jordan spending time with his friends. She was the clingy, controlling, problematic one. Remember how desperate you were for me to delete my dating apps? Jordan says during an argument about his controlling behavior. Remember how you kept pushing for us to be exclusive after just 2 dates? I was just trying to give you what you wanted. Maya begins doubting her own memory and perceptions. Is she being too sensitive? Is she remembering conversations wrong? Is she the real problem in this relationship? Jordan seems so sure of his version of events that Maya starts believing maybe she's going crazy. This is psychological warfare disguised as romantic devotion. Jordan is systematically destroying Maya's ability to trust her own reality, making her completely dependent on his interpretation of events. Jordan convinces Maya to share her banking information so he can help her budget better and plan for their future together. He says she's too impulsive with money and needs guidance to build the financial foundation for the life they're dreaming of. I've been managing my own finances successfully for years. Maya protests weakly. Successfully? Jordan responds with raised eyebrows. You're living paycheck to paycheck in a tiny apartment with no savings. That's not successful financial management. That's just surviving. I want to help you thrive. Every purchase Maya makes comes under intense scrutiny. A coffee with friends becomes wasteful spending that undermines our financial goals. New clothes are unnecessary unless Jordan approves of them first. He makes her feel guilty for spending her own money on anything he doesn't see value in. Do you really need another book when you have dozens you haven't read? Jordan asks when Maya comes home with a novel she'd been excited to start. That $15 could have gone toward our vacation fund instead. Jordan starts asking Maya to contribute to their shared expenses. Dinners out, weekend trips, even Jordan's rent because we're practically living together anyway. But these aren't actually shared benefits. Maya's paying for the privilege of being controlled and monitored. I think you should contribute to my rent since you spend 4 nights a week here, Jordan suggests casually. It's only fair since you're using my space, my utilities, my Wi-Fi. Never mind that Maya still maintains her own apartment and all the expenses that come with it. Never mind that she never asked to spend 4 nights a week at Jordan's place. That arrangement developed because Jordan made her feel guilty for wanting to sleep at her own home. Financial abuse often starts exactly like this. Someone gradually taking control of your economic decisions until you can't leave because you can't afford to. The breaking point comes at Maya's family barbecue in July. Jordan has been making excuses to avoid meeting her family for months, claiming work conflicts or family obligations of his own. But Maya's mom finally pins him down with a direct invitation that's impossible to refuse without seeming rude. At the barbecue, Jordan is absolutely charming. He compliments Maya's mom's potato salad with genuine enthusiasm, engages her dad in conversation about sports and work, and plays with her little cousins like a natural. He helps with grilling, offers to run errands, and tells funny stories that have everyone laughing. Maya's family is completely enchanted. Jordan is wonderful, her mom whispers while they're in the kitchen getting more drinks. You seem so happy together. He obviously adores you. Maya feels proud and relieved. Finally, her family gets to see what she sees in Jordan. Finally, they can understand why she's been so excited about this relationship. But the drive home reveals Jordan's true face in the most terrifying way possible. The moment they're alone in the car, Jordan's charming facade evaporates completely. Your sister is so fake and competitive, he explodes, his voice filled with venom Maya has never heard before. Did you see how she kept trying to one-up every story I told? And your mom kept making those passive-aggressive comments about our relationship. Maya's confused because she didn't notice any of this behavior. Her sister had been friendly and welcoming, asking normal getting-to-know-you questions about Jordan's job and hobbies. Her mom had made one gentle joke about Jordan being quite the catch for someone so accomplished. "What passive-aggressive comments?" Maya asks carefully. "Oh, come on," Jordan snaps. "The way she kept emphasizing how successful I am, like she was surprised you could land someone like me. The way she kept talking about how independent you've always been, like she was warning me that you're difficult to handle." Maya replays the conversations in her mind, but she can't find the hidden meanings Jordan's describing. Everything her family said seemed genuinely positive and welcoming. "Your whole family is toxic," Jordan continues, his voice getting more agitated. "They don't want you to be happy because it makes them feel bad about their own mediocre lives. Your sister's stuck in that dead-end teaching job. Your parents are still living in the same boring suburb they've been in for 30 years. They can't stand seeing you with someone who actually has ambition." "My family isn't toxic," Maya says quietly. But even as she speaks, she can hear the uncertainty in her own voice. "It's us against the world now," Jordan declares with finality. "Your family will never understand what we have. They're going to keep trying to poison you against me because they're threatened by our connection. You're going to have to choose between them and our future together." That night, lying in bed while Jordan sleeps peacefully beside her, Maya realizes she can't remember the last time she felt genuinely happy. She can't remember the last time she made a decision without considering Jordan's reaction first. She can't remember who she was before this relationship began. Most terrifyingly, she's afraid of the person sleeping next to her. Afraid of his anger, afraid of disappointing him, afraid of what might happen if she tries to assert any independence. The next morning, Maya calls her friend Alex from the bathroom while Jordan's still asleep. "I think I'm in trouble," she whispers, even though Jordan can't hear her through the closed door. "I think Jordan might be, I don't know what to call it, but something's really wrong." Alex drives over immediately, and together they start making a safety plan. Maya can't just break up with Jordan over text or phone. By this point, she's genuinely scared of his reaction. People who need to control others don't typically handle rejection well. Maya starts documenting everything. Screenshots of Jordan's controlling texts and unreasonable demands. Notes about incidents she'd been made to feel were her fault. A list of friends and family members she'd lost touch with because of Jordan's influence. She reaches out to a domestic violence hotline, even though Jordan has never hit her. The counselor explains that emotional abuse is still domestic violence. And what Maya's experiencing has a name: intimate partner abuse. The counselor helps Maya understand that Jordan's behavior follows a predictable pattern. The love-bombing phase to create dependency, the gradual isolation from support systems, the constant criticism disguised as concern, the monitoring and control, the gaslighting to destroy her sense of reality. "This isn't love," the counselor tells her gently. "Love doesn't require you to become a different person. Love doesn't make you afraid." When Maya finally breaks up with Jordan over the phone, with Alex sitting right beside her for support, Jordan's reaction is exactly what she'd feared. First comes the pleading, "Please don't do this. I love you more than I've ever loved anyone. We can work through whatever's wrong. I'll do anything to fix this." Then the promises, "I'll change. I'll give you more space. I'll stop being so involved in your daily life. Just give me another chance to prove how much you mean to me." Then the anger. "You're making the biggest mistake of your life. No one will ever love you the way I do. You're throwing away something incredible because you're too scared of real intimacy." Finally, the threats. "You'll come crawling back when you realize what you've lost. And I might not be here waiting for you. Don't come crying to me when you end up with someone who treats you like garbage." Maya blocks Jordan's number, all his social media accounts, and his email address. She has to change her work schedule because Jordan keeps showing up at her office, alternating between flowers and furious demands for explanations. She stays with Alex for 2 weeks because she's afraid to be alone at her apartment. Jordan knows where she lives, has a key, and has demonstrated repeatedly that he doesn't respect boundaries. It takes months for Maya to feel like herself again. She has to rebuild relationships with friends and family members she'd pushed away. She has to learn to trust her own judgment and perceptions after months of gaslighting. She goes to therapy to understand how she missed so many warning signs and to make sure she never falls into this pattern again. But Maya got out before the situation escalated to physical violence or complete financial control. Not everyone is so fortunate. Today, Maya is doing incredibly well. She's back to sleeping in on weekends, having coffee dates with friends, and wearing whatever makes her feel good. She's in a healthy relationship with someone who loves all the things about her that Jordan wanted to change. Someone who encourages her friendships, supports her goals, and has never once made her feel like she needs to be different to deserve love. That's the story of how a fairy tale romance became a psychological prison, and how one woman escaped before it destroyed her completely. But millions of people are trapped in similar relationships right now, convinced that control is love and isolation is devotion. Maya wants everyone to know, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't ignore those feelings, because someone tells you you're being dramatic or oversensitive. Your gut reactions exist to protect you. That was pure slackness. Let me ask you this. If someone isolated you from your friends the way Jordan did Maya, would you call them out publicly or just quietly disappear? I want your take in the comments. See that video? You're not ready for what you're about to hear. Click it now. Thanks for watching today's report. I'm Robyn Fox, and until next time, stay alert.
Pure slackness.